What is up, my friends? You are welcome back for tonight's late night agenda. And today is the day that we got confirmation that Jordan Henderson will be departing Liverpool for Saudi Arabia. The fee is £12 million plus add ons. And quite simply, I want to know how you're all feeling about this. You know my take on it. I'm not going to ram my opinions down your throat. But we do need to look at replacements. We need to have a conversation about our captain's place in history. And we need to look ahead to the season. Well, of course, reflecting on today's 4-2 victory over Karlsruhe, which was a bit of a crazy one, right? Two late goals from Diogo Jota. Loads for us to get through. But we are here for the next hour. We are here to answer your questions. So, yeah, appreciate you guys coming back. I really do. And let's see where we go. Let's see where we go with tonight's one. Look, the news came out from Fabrizio Romano just as we were getting underway with the intentional thing by Liverpool to kind of downplay it a bit, behind the scenes. But we've got the confirmation. We've got the here we go. We've got information from the Athletic and many others. And Jordan Henderson will be departing for a fee, as I said, of about £12 million plus add-ons. We're not sure what those add-ons add up to just yet. I'm sure that information will come to us in due course. Yeah, Mark, thank you for the first super sticker of the night, my friend. Really do appreciate your continued support. If you are joining us for the first time back on YouTube, let me say it's a pleasure to be here with you. I appreciate all of your time and support. But tonight's about you guys giving us your thoughts. If you would like to become a member of either Anfield Agenda FC or, of course, the all-new Anfield Agenda Ultras, you know what to do with that as well. And again, thank you to everyone that's subscribed, that's commenting, that's continuing to support us. And, we're a platform for you guys to share your opinions on all things Liverpool. Never forget that. I might be a United fan, but I love you. Thank you, Josh. You're really kind, mate. Yeah, look, I've always said this, I've got a respect for United from a rivalry point of view, but you guys have always been very good to me. When I've had some downtimes and stuff, United fans have always reached out, and I appreciated that as well. But I'm a Liverpool fan, so I can't wish you good luck on the pitch, my friend. Can we talk about the game as well? Absolutely, we can talk about everything, but we can't ignore the big news. And this is big news, because however you look at this, Liverpool Football Club are losing their captain. And, it's a sad situation, because with the service that Jordan gave to the club, he should be going off as a hero. But he won't. He'll go out the back door quietly. Because, well, look, the obvious. I don't need to speak about it. But I want you guys to have your say on how you feel about the captain. Who will be the new captain? Will it be Virgil? It's a very good question. I don't know if we can take the fact Virgil had the armband today as a bit of an indication on that one. You could be right. But look, one thing I will say is, we're not going to be short of good candidates for the captaincy. Whether it's Alisson Becker, whether it's Virgil van Dijk, whether it's Mohamed Salah, whether it's Andy Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold, we won't be short of great captain options. And any of those gentlemen that I mentioned would wear that armband with distinction. All top of their game. Liverpool icons. I'm easy. That's Jurgen's choice and his teammates. I think I missed something. Jota is better than the English Aruna Kone with Rashford, according to Danny. Danny, now come on, play nice. I love it though, Danny. I won't lie, dude. I love the shithousery. Keep it coming. Look, Diogo Jota is money, right? He is an assassin in the penalty area. Hendo for 12 million is an unnecessarily crappy deal because we've 2 years left as well. It is a tough one to gauge on that point, Rosie. It's a tough one to kind of put a valuation on Jordan Henderson, right? Because in one sense, all of us will admit that we thought that Jordan Henderson's minutes were going to be on the low side this season. We thought he was probably going to take over the James Milner role in the squad. And, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Jones, they'd be your guys to start out. So we're putting a valuation on Jordan Henderson. It is a difficult one. And I think the club looked to try and use the money that Chelsea got for Koulibaly, who was 32 years of age. I'm not sure of his contractual situation at Chelsea at the time. But I don't think that there is a number that we could have received, Rosie, that would adequately make up for the loss of leadership there. So I think the club just tried to do what was best for the club in that moment. If the player comes to you and said, look, I want to leave, like anybody else, Jurgen's always said he won't stand in their way if the deal's right for Liverpool. And I think I think that the number must be one that the club feel comfortable with. Now, there was a good tweet from Moby Hake, who, to be fair, lashes out a load of good tweets. He's a very good account. And this is what he's had to say, and I think it's important we keep this in mind as well. So Moby said 12 million fee plus add-ons for Jordan Henderson and significant wages being saved. The wage was about 10 million quid a year. So that means this package for Liverpool overall is going to save us probably about 30 million quid over the next 2 years that he would have been contracted to Liverpool if you take about the fee and the wages. So it's a significant amount of money for Liverpool to reinvest. And if you look at it solely from that perspective, I guess the club have done the best business they could do in a very difficult circumstance. So I guess the real important stance here is how this money is reinvested and who Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool look to bring in. And that's where it gets fun. That's where we can start to look positive and look ahead. Now, there have been some names mentioned. Some of them I think are a little bit, well, some of the valuations the clubs have put on these lads are nuts, and I'll move on to speak about Decore being one of them. But before I do, Josh Cleary, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Nessie, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC as well. Appreciate your support. Welcome to the family. Jeff said, Henderson has to go down as legendary Liverpool captain, but once his head was turned, he had to go. Yeah, I get that. Like, I could never look back at his playing time at the club and not say that he led us with distinction. You know, I've got to be fair about that. But I also can't escape this feeling of horrendous disappointment in him for how it's ended. Because whatever way you look at it, whether you're take the money and run, whether it's good business for Liverpool, however we look at this, I think we'll all be in agreement that it's not the way this should have ended. It's not the way somebody of the calibre of him should have left Liverpool Football Club. And that's, to me, the saddest part of it all. Now, of course, there are some other interested and concerned parties in this. And I was reading a tweet earlier on. This led me to an article, which led me to something else. And I want to read this out because I feel, again, it's important when we speak about the Henderson situation to speak about it as adults and to speak about it from the point of view of those who feel let down. And the England LGBTQ plus supporters group have criticised Jordan Henderson. This is what they had to say. And remember, that you're talking about somebody who's been a great ally to the inclusivity in football, to people who feel that they hadn't had a place previously before. Jordan Henderson's a great ally of those people, and it's right that they're disappointed. They've read in their statement, our joy for Mr. Henderson when he scored against Ukraine in the Euros quarter-final was, in part, due to his kindness and his lucky rainbow laces. A banner was created to commemorate the low bar he had achieved from being outspoken on our rights to support England and show visibility on the pitch. If the rumours are true, then that banner has been consigned to the depths of history. And I understand their point. They're everybody's point, I understand, in this scenario. There isn't a winner with regards to Liverpool in this. You know, everybody has a point. People have a point about the money. People have a point about the morality. People have a point about the disappointment. People have a People have a right to point out Jordan Henderson served us with distinction. You're all right. Everybody's opinions is fair and valid. But it just feels sad. It feels sad. Now, I hope we replace him adequately. And we have to. Because we're about to lose Fabinho as well. Fabinho will be moving across for a £40 million, a far bigger fee. But, you know, I've seen a lot of pieces come out from his fellow Brazilian footballers and his fellow European players who've said that they're very disappointed that Fabinho at 29, because look at Hendo, he's 33, very close to the end of his career. And you're looking at Fabinho, who is, I mean, dare I say, still at the tail end of his prime, moving, and that I don't understand. From our perspective, take the money, 40 million is a big fee, money we're probably not going to recoup for Fabinho. But we need to invest it right. And we need to bring in the calibre of player that won't leave us with that big hole in the defensive midfield role. So whether that's Lavia with Joshua Kimmich alongside him, whether that's Sofian Amrabat, who again has been linked to Manchester United today in the media, you know, I guess that's what we're here tonight to discuss. I agree with everyone who says they're a bit disappointed with Fabinho for basically giving up his career at 29. Fabinho could have played for another 2 or 3 years in Europe somewhere and probably still got this type of move, you know? But But somebody made a point yesterday, and I hadn't thought about this. And as always, our Discord group are absolutely top notch. Somebody made a very valid point in our Discord group, and I want to read it out to you because I don't know if this person will mind me saying who they are in the Discord group, but Mace made a very good point. He said, somebody pointed something out to me interesting that I also want to think about. The Saudi clubs are owned, or at least linked, to the PIF, which is the Saudi Sovereign Investment Fund, one way or another. They're obviously helping Chelsea. And by the way, the PIF are invested in Clearlake Capital, which is one of the owners of Chelsea. But anyway, we'll move on. They're obviously helping Chelsea, but also trying to buy all our players and disrupting our pre-season. They're indirectly helping their big project, Newcastle. And I hadn't thought of this. I really hadn't. Makes me wonder, he said. If they weakened us, it gives Newcastle a better chance of the Champions League. They're probably going to move on to other clubs around us next as well. The whole thing just feels shady. I think it's a fair point. Now, I don't know if we can make these connections, but it's certainly not tinfoil hat stuff to suggest it. Pranav, thank you, buddy, for joining Anfield Agenda FC, and PC Drat as well. Two names I absolutely recognise from being long-term viewers of the channel. Welcome to you both to Anfield Agenda FC. Is Lavia not too inexperienced for a starting position in Liverpool's midfield? Keanu, I think probably is the answer, which is why my suggestion is that we looked at somebody who was the mix of experience as well, like somebody like Joshua Kimmich. The plan was to go for Lavia. And as much as I think Jordan Henderson was a surprise to Liverpool Football Club wanting to move on, I can't say that it's a surprise for Fabinho, because I knew, and I told you guys a few weeks ago, to expect an offer to come in for Fabinho. I spoke about the amount of the offer. I spoke about why the offer will be coming our way. So I think Lavia is the right signing. There's a very valid point about a lack of experience there. I don't think any of us can debate that. He looks like a very good player. He's very highly thought of. So if we were to go at Lavia, and I do think we should, I do think we need to balance that, though, with somebody of the 25, 26, 27, maybe even 28 age bracket. Now, I don't know what Joshua Kimmich will cost if Liverpool are to buy him. We've seen reports coming from Germany that Leon Goretzka and Joshua Kimmich are available. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see what our budget is. Now, for those who were saying Palhinha, you won't get much of an argument from me. Very good player. Again, 28, so right at the very peak. My problem with him is we've seen a £45 million bid turned down from West Ham, who are, of course, looking to replace Declan Rice. We've seen that turned down. We've seen figures of 70 mentioned. Now, I don't know if that's the number or not, but I can't see a world where Liverpool spend that on a 28-year-old. I can't. Now, I don't know what Kimmich's price is going to be. Could be a lot higher, could be a lot lower. So if you're talking that level of money, and if we have that level of money, I would say Barella would be a better option for that level of money. But this is genuine. I am stumped a little bit here, because the plan was sell Fabinho, get Lavia. That was the plan. I've been told this by a couple of journalists, and this could well still be the plan. But you can't just get Lavia and think we've enough experience. And I think you'll all agree with me on that one. Whether you think he's a good enough player or not, the experience you can't ignore. Did Trent play DM today? Yeah, he did, Gino. So what happened today was Trent played in the Fabinho role. Trent played as the actual number 6. Then Connor Bradley in the first half played Trent's role of being that hybrid right back and second midfielder. So it was interesting to see that Jurgen stuck with that philosophy. And Connor Bradley did well. Let me say that. Connor Bradley did very well. So I was impressed with that. But it's tough to gauge Trent's level in the 6 against the opposition we had, you know. Lavia going to Arsenal. Look, what I can say to you, Steve, without a shadow of a doubt, mate, because this is a fact. If there's a decision to be made for Lavia between joining Liverpool and Arsenal, he's coming to Liverpool. Not my words. Trust me on that one. But what I can say to you is if Liverpool are going to put the bid in, if Liverpool are going to follow through, because I don't know this from the club side. My information's on the other side. So you could well be right, mate. I don't know. But What I would say is, if Lavia is the one, we need to get the finger out and get moving, because we can't allow Arsenal to push ahead and try and steal a march on us, because, they've already done some good business in this window. We need at least two new midfielders now, said Troy. Yes, full agreement, Troy. We do. We need two new midfielders, you're right. One young, one old. Or one young, one experienced is probably a better way. We need Pavard so Trent becomes the six. So, I don't agree with either of those statements, personally. I don't think Trent's ready to be the six. I don't think Trent's defensively aware enough to be the sole six. That opinion won't change in the short term for me anyway. And also on Pavard, nah, I'm not fussed about Pavard. I think we can do better if we need to bring in another right back. And also, Bradley's a very, very good talent. And we also have another young man who's on loan at Preston North End, of course, in Calvin Ramsey. So I think we're okay with regards. I know I'm probably in the minority here, but Joe can play at right back as well. I think we're okay in the right back position. I think we've enough distractions now that we need to look for the two midfielders and the centre back. On Lucho, I have some news on Lucho. Liverpool Football Club will not be entertaining an offer for Lucho. It doesn't matter what the number is. Unless you get into the absolute lunacy of hundreds of millions, it's not of interest to Liverpool. Liverpool aren't going to be selling Diaz. There isn't a reasonable number that they're going to accept. You can take that as a fact. And also, and this comes from The Athletic, this next part, the player himself has shown no desire to want to take the move, to want to leave Liverpool Football Club. So that's good news. Really happy to hear that both the player wants to stay and that Liverpool have no intention of selling him. Because we don't need that distraction. We don't need it right now. We have enough headaches going on. Who would you rather, Kimmich or Amrabat? So can I take it, Samuel, that in your question, Lavia was the other midfielder, right? I'm taking it as that. So if Lavia is the other midfielder, I'd prefer Kimmich because of the versatility. I'd prefer Joshua Kimmich if it was a straight choice. But Amrabat's a fine football player, don't get me wrong. Caicedo be such a game changer. You can forget about it. I don't mean that to be rude to you, but there's no chance Liverpool sign Caicedo. None. Zero. He's going to Chelsea. They will figure out a fee and they will pay a significant amount of money for him. So, yeah, it's not going to happen. What about Bajcetic? He's still working his way back. He wasn't in the matchday squad today. He's probably a little bit behind the rest of the group, but, Bajcetic is a huge talent. You've seen that yourself. And to think that we paid £300,000 for him is crazy. Lucho's a key part of the club, so underrated. In my personal opinion, he's the most important player, said Jay Gaming. I love that we have Lucho, but I wouldn't put him anywhere near being our most important player, in my opinion. And look, this is just an opinions thing, right? For me, until I see different. For me, Mohamed Salah is still our most important player, or Alisson Becker. If you're talking about the two most important at the club, they're the two that spring to my mind. Now, can I say, I was so impressed with Alexis McAllister today. And look, Szoboszlai was very good in himself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to undermine him, but Alexis McAllister, he has it up here. He has an insane football brain. The movements. It's so clever. I mean, I'm not able to eloquently explain to you the intricacies of what that dude was doing, but he was so good, so clever, always finding a piece of space, always making himself available, and his pressing wasn't too bad either. I was really impressed with him. I really, really was. Craig, isn't 200k already overkill in terms of money? I'll need more context, mate. I don't know what you mean by the 200k. Are we talking about the money Henderson's on? Are we talking about Thiago's money? Liverpool captain should be on a lot of money. Let me say that. If you're representing this football club, you should be in and around the top three earners, in my opinion. Definitely. But, you know, Mo's the man. So Mo gets paid the most, and rightly so. Frank, have a good day at work, dude. Always lovely to see you drop in from Australia, mate, on your way to work. I hope you have a good one. Opinions on Gvardiol to Manchester City. Unfortunately, it's a good signing, man. And it's a very good signing. And, you know, I'm a little bit deluded on Manchester City. I'm going to tell you why, and feel free to take pot shots at me because it won't sound sensible. I have a feeling we're going to see a little fall off for Manchester City this year because I think Kevin De Bruyne's best days are behind him. I'm not saying De Bruyne is finished. I'm just saying injuries are catching up with him. And I think the prime Kevin De Bruyne has been and gone. He'll still do bits. He'll still be a very important player. But I think we're seeing maybe a little changing there. And I hope we can capitalise. I think if somebody can get off to a fast start this season, you never know. If Lucho didn't get injured, he'd be one of our best wingers. Look, Lucho's brilliant, but he needs to add a little bit more on the goals chart for me. But I've said this many times. You can look at front lines across Europe and you can talk to me about maybe better front lines as in a three. But I would suggest that you would struggle to find a better front five than the options Liverpool have. You know, Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, Lucho Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota, and that's before we even take into account the youngsters. So I'm absolutely over the moon with the attackers we have at the club. Hey Craigo, if we got Sangar and Lavia, as Sangar has 32 million release clause compared to Decore. So that £70 million price tag that apparently Crystal Palace have put on Decore's head, according to Sammy Mockbell 81 from the Mirror. I must be a Palace journalist from the Mirror. They can do one for 70 million. Like, there's no way Decore is gonna. No way we're paying 70 million for Decore. No way. He moved a year ago for 21. Yes, he had a very, very good season. He was Crystal Palace's Player of the Year. But 70 million? No, thank you. Move on. John Conway. Welcome back, John. Another long-term, and I mean long-term viewer of the channel. Thank you, mate. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. What do you think the top four realistically will be, say, by March, April? So, whilst you have to take into account transfers, right now, I feel the top six will look something like this. And I don't know what order of the 1 and 2. So let's say City, Liverpool, Arsenal. And you know what? I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to say City, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, Newcastle in 6th. Yeah, and look, that could change. United, I think the fourth, 5th place thing there between United and Chelsea could change, but also it won't matter too much because 5th will get you into the Champions League next season. So, you know, if you finish 5th or 4th, it won't really make that much of a difference. What would you think about signing Tchouaméni? And look, we love it, but I can't say I'm not a little bit disheartened by the fact that Aurélien Tchouaméni was liking posts saying go away Liverpool pretty much. So he clearly doesn't want to come and play for Liverpool. So, you know, after that, what do you say? Newcastle 4th. I don't think so. I don't think so because they have to play Champions League football and have to get into a 2-game-a-week rhythm, which they didn't have to get into last year because they had no European football. And their squad isn't exactly the biggest of squads. So I think Newcastle might get caught out here. If they have a couple of injuries or they don't get off to a good start, you know, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that they might struggle to get into the Champions League again. Especially based off what we're seeing. Tonali and Harvey Barnes are two good signings, but not signings that make me sit here, you know, worried about the future. And going into pot 4, yeah, so they have a tough group. So yeah, I don't think Newcastle are certainty to get back into the Champions League. I think it's going to take them a while to get used to this 2 games a week. It does take its toll. Do you think Darwin lacks the killer instinct? No, I just think he needs to just pause, focus, and I think there's a. Let me say this: no, I don't know Darwin Núñez. I've never spoken with him, but I would say a good sports psychologist would do wonders with Darwin Núñez because all the natural abilities there, the confidence is there. I think if he works with a very good sports psychologist on what to do in specific moment, I think the world's his oyster. Like really, I think he could do a lot. Any truth behind the Kimmich rumors? Truth is, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I hope so because I'd love to have Joshua Kimmich come in, because we need that experience. But again, to be respectful, he's a Bayern player, and as much as I've seen articles suggesting they're open to offers, I don't know what they'd be open to with regards of a fee. We can guess at one, but I've not seen a definitive reply coming from the Bayern side to say if you want Leon Goretzka or you want Joshua Kimmich, these are the numbers. I don't know those. If Rashford gets injured, United will fall off immensely. United have a bit of work to do in the transfer market yet. Onana is going to be a very solid goalkeeper. Mason Mount, again, decent signing. I think will do well at United. But yes, Rashford is huge. And if United don't keep him fit or if he goes through a bit of a lull, they could be in a bit of trouble there. But again, there's a lot of guesswork there, isn't there? There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Hypothetical situations. Get Polina. Would you pay the money for Polina though, Kevin? You know, because we've seen 45 million turned down, so it looks like the number for Polina is going to be in excess of 60. I've seen 70 quoted, but as good as he is at 28, I just think knowing our owners, I can't see them sanctioning that much money for a 28-year-old. How about Frankie de Jong? Would love him, Bill. Would love him. But I wonder if his wages at Barcelona are a bit prohibitive for us. Because, you know, we have one player on the big money, like the 350 bracket. That's Mohamed Salah. And to get that wage, Mohamed Salah had to smash records left, right and centre. So I don't think that's possible. As much as I'd happily take him, because I really like him. What do you think George will be thinking with all these crazy numbers of DMs? Um, I think Liverpool haven't got much time to dwell now. I understand them wanting to wait to get the finality of the deal with Fabinho and Henderson. I understand that they had to wait for those to happen. But now we need action, right? We need to see George Schmadtke, Jurgen Klopp, the recruitment team just go out there now and get it done because time is not on our side. What about Goretzka? I'll come back to the wage thing again. D99. I remember when Goretzka was leaving, I think Schalke to go to Bayern. Melissa Reddy wrote a piece saying that for him to come to the Premier League at that time, I want to say he was looking for wages close to £300,000 a week. And that was a few years back, so I can only imagine he'd want more now. So again, I would say probably not cost effective for Liverpool. Valverde be a great signing. Oh God, yes. Valverde, Tchouaméni, amazing. But I just don't see it happening. And look, if you don't agree with me, just ask yourself one simple question. In your lifetime, have you seen Liverpool buying a player from Real Madrid? I don't think it's happened. So I don't think it's going to happen now. Do I rate Valverde? Oh yes. And so does Klopp. Jurgen Klopp has been an admirer of Freddie Valverde for a while. So I would love him, yeah. I really would. Right, I have a bit more news to go through anyway. So, Football Insider, and I can't believe I have to read this out because if this happens, I think my head's going to explode. But they say that Thiago could leave Liverpool. Yeah, you heard me right. Thiago could leave Liverpool. They go on to say that there's interest from Turkey, Saudi Arabia. We know there's also interest from Barcelona. But they say, and this is the worrying part for me, a source has reportedly told the outlet that Thiago's age and injury problems have made Liverpool receptive to allowing him to leave. Does that surprise anybody else? Like, before Henderson departed, okay, I think, yeah, maybe. But with the fact we've lost Henderson, we're about to lose Fabinho, we've lost Milner, we've lost Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've lost Keita, we've lost Bobby Firmino, we've lost some experience. So I can't see the sense to selling Thiago other than to bring in some cash. You need that experience, and he's got 1 year left on his Liverpool deal. I think we need to keep him for that season and allow him to leave for free. And if nothing else, just to have him around the training ground, to have him around working with the younger players. You know, what can Boycetti to learn from Thiago in a year? A lot, I would imagine. So, and again, if we brought in Lavia, I would imagine that there's a good bit that he can pass on there as well. What's your opinion on McAllister tonight? I was so impressed, Miro. So impressed, mate. His positional awareness and being able to pick up pockets of space and just a lovely rhythm in his play. Get the ball, move the ball, nothing too dramatic. And then, of course, he got the assist for Jota second as well. What's the situation on Verratti? So I've been long admirer of Marco Verratti. I mean, watch my streams from years ago, and I've long said I dreamed of having him at Liverpool. But now he's what, 31? Maybe 32? 31 anyway. Has had a pretty bad track record of injuries. So I think you're just basically bringing in another Thiago in that situation. And that's not what we need. We need to get as many bulletproof type players as we can. Which is where the likes of Thuram becomes very appealing, because I don't think he's had an injury yet. Not a serious one. Maddie has said there in the chat that he'd take Coop Miners. So would I. I think he's a very solid player. And I really rate Gasparini as well as a coach. So I think he'd have learned a good bit working with him at Atalanta. And he's been linked to us. So that's all I can say. Did Szoboszlai play? He did. He played the first half, mate. And again, looked bright and sharp. It's about getting on a rhythm with the players. But to me, just stand out today. I was looking forward to seeing him, and I thought McAllister was just wonderful. Maddie said Verratti's a very good player. Likes to party, smoke a bit at his age. I think it's a bad signing. I think it's just stupidity because of the injury record, and we don't need that again. Loads of people, Sundar, have mentioned Locatelli. Um, I've not seen a link to him. If we sell Thiago, Hendo, and Fabinho, I'm looking for some serious investment. Just Lavia ain't gonna cut it. I think you're right. And look, even before we speak about the Thiago part, mate, I'm with you. We need two now, like for Fabinho and Henderson. If Thiago left, I mean, I just can't see why the club would move Thiago on. I think it's just the height of stupidity at this point if we did. Explain Henderson in 3 words. I'd rather not. Why did you leave Twitch? Our contract came to an end. We had a 1 year exclusivity agreement with Twitch. They licensed their content for a year. That came to an end. I sat down with the team, talked about where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do, and everybody said, go back to YouTube, it's your home. And here we are, and they were right. Amrabat seems most like Fabinho. I'd love Amrabat. I would. Now, I admitted to you guys the other day that I was a bit scared to go all in on saying on Amrabat because I think he could end up at United. And I hate losing players to rivals. But I'd happily take Amrabat. And we know the manager's an admirer. We know that he's spoken with his representatives before. And I think this summer Fiorentina are certainly open to moving him on. So from that regard, no argument for me. And especially at the 25 million we're seeing mentioned. Marcus Kverin, thank you, mate, for the super chat. Love, appreciate it. Thank you. Tyler Adams, a shout. Not for me, but I know I anger our American audience when I say that. I don't. Yeah, I don't think he's ready for Liverpool. Anyone for James Ward-Prowse? Mm-mm. No, please God, no. For the love of God, no. I was hoping we didn't have to discuss him. No, just no. If we're going to Southampton for somebody, let it be Lavia. Look, Luis from Benfica. The only thing I can say there is what stopped me really pushing the idea of Florentino Luis is the £103 million buyout clause in his contract. So if they were open to negotiation, 100%, you know, he's 23 years of age. I think he made 80 something appearances over the last couple of seasons since he's been there, and looks very good, but not £103 million. Like Benfica have already pulled Chelsea's pants down with the money they got for Enzo. So there's no way Liverpool are going to go there and pay 100 million. So if they can get him for a lower amount, happy days. Congrats, 182k subs and 2,500 viewers. We haven't got 182k subs on my end, but thank you, appreciate you. And look, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, my friends, please do. In fact, I think I have a little. There we go. I have a little subscribe button there for the top right hand corner. So yeah, if you haven't hit the sub button, please do. Do I watch the Ashes? No, I don't. I think we should have Kovacic instead of Man City. It was a very astute signing, Mohammed, for Manchester City. I said it at the time, and I hate to give them any credit, but if you lose Gundogan, who is, look, an incredible footballer, if you lose him, I think Kovacic was an astute signing for them. I really do. I think it's spot on. And I hate saying that. I hate giving them feckers any credit. Can you do a vid of Liverpool's interest to Kimmich? I'm trying to find out, is the honest answer. Azuko, I would love to make that vid, my friend. I really would. But I'm trying to find out the level of interest there and, you know, if we'll follow through with it. Caicedo, I know, but you can forget about it. It isn't happening. Honestly, there's no chance we sign Caicedo. It just is not happening. What did you think of Conor Bradley's performance? He gives me hope every time I watch him play. And I am biased because, you know, he's from the same island as myself. But I really think there's a player there. My fear is that we might have another situation like we did moving on players before that, you know, look good, look positive, but, you know, didn't get that chance. Sometimes you need a bit of luck to break through at a club like Liverpool. And I think Nico Williams is a good example. Very good. Nobody would say he wasn't a Premier League player, but never really got the opportunity at Liverpool. And I hope that that isn't the case with Conor Bradley, because I really do think that there's a player there. City are after Rafinha from Barca now. That won't worry me. Am I weird about that? Like, I wouldn't be stressed if they signed him. I really wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be bothered. Decore is the signing we need, I feel, 100%. How about, Honest Noble, if I tell you that they're asking £70 million? Do you still think Decore is the answer? Because I don't know about a £70 million Decore. Good player. But 70 million? Is he worth a 50 million markup for one season at Palace? What about Højbjerg, the former Spurs dude? No. Højbjerg's days are behind them. Liverpool can't attract top-notch players. Yeah, that's shite, to be fair, mate. We absolutely can. We just refuse to pay the money for real established superstars. But to sit here and say Liverpool can't attract top-notch players, you don't even believe that nonsense, mate. Let's be honest. You know, we've just brought in Szoboszlai, McAllister. One of them's won a World Cup. One of them's a huge talent. And I think they wouldn't have been short of offers. But they want to come and play for Liverpool. They want to come and play for Jurgen Klopp. So I think it's more wishful thinking on your part with that comment than actually having any basis in truth. If they sign Matoma, I would be concerned. You know what? I found it very refreshing to hear De Zerbi speak about the fact that Matoma isn't ready for a move yet. I thought that was very honest of him when he was speaking about the development of the players that he has there. I think he's right. I think Matoma could absolutely do it another year at Brighton. So, Thuram Lavia, Kimmich Lavia, Amrabat Lavia, they're all combinations of signings that I'd be more than happy with. Why is everyone hating Nunes? Because some people just don't want to ever give some of our players credit, mate. Some people form these narratives about players and don't change them. So say what you want about me, and I have called out many players, but I'm not somebody who will refuse to acknowledge when players have proved me wrong, like Curtis Jones is doing. Nothing makes me happier than putting my hands up and going, I was wrong. Dude's brilliant. That's what I want. That's what I hope for. I think on if we can look at the centre back situation for a moment, I do feel like the injury and the extent of the injury to Wesley Fofana will probably put the kibosh on our slim chances of signing Levi Colwill from Chelsea. You know, I think that injury means that they have to keep him at all costs now. So, yeah, let's wait and see what we do with regards to the centre back situation. Does Jurgen hang off? You know, I guess if Colwill signs a new contract, then we can move on. But if he doesn't and he runs it down another year, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Jurgen held off. Thuram is like the best central midfielder in league at the minute. And clearly would like to come as well, mate. And I've liked what I've seen of Kefren Thuram. Yeah, there's a lot of positive attributes to the young man. And of course comes from a very good footballing family. His father a World Cup winner. Yeah. Do I think Kwanzaa is ready? No, but I was impressed with him today, Ball. I do. I was impressed with Kwanzaa today. I think he did quite well in that back line in the second half. I do have a question, though, and I'm sure you guys have the same question. What on earth happened for their second goal? Like, where was the whole left-hand side of our defence? Because the space was just astonishing. Would I like Kakare from Leon? So I've got a bit of pain in my arse with Leon over the years, to be honest, and listen to Jean-Michel Aulas, and I think, has he moved on from Leon, by the way? He was a nightmare to deal with, you know, very difficult to get players out of Leon. Who would you say is the one to look out for? Oh, it's got to be Doak. It's got to be Ben Doak. Rabadam said, today the Pharaohs Club, Klasvik, beat Hungarian champions Ferencváros out of the Champions League. I love football. That's class. I do love an underdog story, Rabadan. So yes, nice one. Do you think Nsiko will be perfect for us? I do like the kid. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched enough of him to give you, you know, an honest assessment, but certainly has something about him, right? He's a very exciting player. What's your take on Henderson going to Saudi? My take is very strong. So I do apologise in advance if this gets under anyone's skin. But I'm disgusted by Jordan Henderson. Simply disgusted. I find it extremely hypocritical of him to have claimed to be the person that he was held up on a pedestal to be. You know, somebody who fighting for the inclusivity in our sport. Somebody who was above this greed. But apparently not. Apparently he had a number, and apparently that number is whatever he was offered. So I find it really disappointing that instead of us giving Jordan Henderson a huge send-off in a year or 2 years, where he gets the whole 9 yards, you know, everything that his time at Liverpool would have deserved. But now he just goes out the back door quietly and pisses off and does his thing. It's just not the end it should be. And that's disappointing. Whichever way you sit on the side of morality or whatever, it's just disappointing that this is where we are. Craig, you are wrong. I'm fucking not wrong. Sorry, man, I'm not wrong. 100% right. You can't tell everybody that you are all for inclusivity and that these things mean something to you and you're fighting for these causes and then run to a country where homosexuality is illegal. Can't do it, mate. Especially when you've got young kids. What lesson are you teaching your children about morality there in that scenario? That daddy had morals until his bank balance swelled up and then his morals went out the window. So I know you think I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. I'm absolutely right. You say I'm wrong. That's on you. But am I still wrong if his daughter discovers she's gay and ends up in prison? Did he do the right thing for his family then? What if his daughter goes into a teenager and goes out with a boy and gets caught kissing in public and gets locked up for a public display of affection? Am I still wrong then? So that's my take on it. I'm not saying your take has to be the same as my take, but if you ask me for my opinion, all I can do is give you my opinion. Brace DeVille said, I agree with you, Craig, but I have to believe that Stevie G had a huge influence on Hendo making his decision. Well, therein lies another bleeding hypocrite, by the way, in Stephen Gerrard. And I mean this in two ways. One, what the hell are you doing destabilising your former club and taking the captain? That's part one. And part two, he might as well give up on his managerial career because nobody's going to pay attention to anything he does over there. And he took that for greed as well. And that's it. Simple as that. I'm on the side of morality in all of this. And for me, you know, how many times over do you need to be a millionaire? This isn't me or you. This isn't any of us having to make a bit of an iffy decision to feed our family, put a roof over our head. It's a bit xenophobic. That's their beliefs. You don't understand what xenophobia is, mate. It's not xenophobic to say that people shouldn't be killed for being gay. What I would suggest to you, my friend, is that any religion, and I mean any, and Catholicism has destroyed my country in part at times. Any country that's ruled by religion is in trouble. And if those religious beliefs are as strong as to wanting to kill people for being themselves, then I'm sorry, but that country's wrong. I'm not saying religions are wrong. I'm saying any country that rules through religion and puts people to death for loving somebody is wrong. And if you come down on the other side of that, I hope you never impact or affect your life. I sincerely do. I have no issue with the beautiful people that worship Islam. None at all. I'm not a religious person myself, but I believe and have love for everybody. Everybody. And the people that I know who practice the Islamic religion are wonderful people. And are peaceful people and are inclusive people. So I don't have hate for anyone. I'm not xenophobic. And I hate when people take cheap shots like that. To say that just because somebody hates one idea of something, they're against the whole country. I couldn't be further from the truth. That's me. That's honesty. That's me. I don't care where you're from. I take people at face value. So it hurts me sincerely when people try to say I'm xenophobic. I'm not xenophobic. I just have a moral compass that guides me, and I can only live my life. You know, and I'm remaining really calm in this because I completely understand it's a very divisive topic, and it's horrible that we're in a situation where we're having to speak about football and this stuff together because they're two very separate things. But I will say this to you. I wish everybody a loving, peaceful, safe life. That's it. That's all I want for all of you, wherever you're from. Do you believe that we should have signed João Felix as our 9 last season instead of putting Darwin? No, but I do like João Felix, the footballer. Was anybody else really confused when João Felix went to Atleti? Because I couldn't figure it out. Like, you look at the style of football and you just think, there's no way that the style Atleti play is going to get the best out of João Felix. I could never understand that move. And for him to have then gone to Chelsea and that not to have worked out, yeah, it's strange because he's such a good player. Are Hendo and Fabinho definitely going then? Yes. Yes, Lloydie, they are. Fabrizio gave the here we go on the Jordan Henderson move earlier on. £12 million plus add-ons. I don't know what those add-ons are at this moment. Fabinho will be £40 million. And look, all we can do as a club now is react and try and sort out our own midfield. Am I a Fenian? I'm Irish, mate. If you want to undermine that with any level of shite that you want to say, calling me a Fenian, I'm Irish. Is that okay, asshole? I'm Irish. I'm not anything. I'm Irish and my name is Craig. But I haven't ruled by any belief system other than my own morality. So, I don't like your comment. Not hard to make the right decision, Legend told me. Somebody told me that before as well, is that you never have to talk yourself into making the right decision. Edison Alvarez from Ajax would be a good backup. Lots of Liverpool fans have been suggesting that to me. Now, is his move to Dortmund dead? Like, is there no hope of that being resurrected? Because something I haven't been able to shake for the past few days is what Neil Jones and Melissa Reddy said, that everyone's twisting your words against you. Yeah, but here's the problem, mate. I'm far more intelligent than the people that are trying to twist my words against me. So I don't worry about it, dude, because I'm quite an articulate, intelligent man. And I'm able to hold my own in a debate. So, you know, I'm responsible for the words that actually come out of my mouth. Anyway, dead. All right. So there's been a comment from Melissa Reddy and Neil Jones that both said, both hinted at a surprise signing. And look, I could be absolutely reading too much into this, but sorry, I have to correct another moron in the chat. Craig, where's your morality about us being sponsored by Nike? You are a fucking moron. Whataboutery is the argument of somebody who doesn't have an argument. Leo, I'm going to say this to you again very clearly. You are not intelligent enough to debate me, Leo. You aren't. You're another whataboutery merchant. Everything in this world, sir, you can find hypocrisy in. But there is a massive difference to the level of hypocrisy that you're talking about to me wearing a Nike t-shirt. You absolute twat. So again, you're not clever enough. I will destroy you, mate. I will rip you apart and your stupid belief system and throw it in the bin without even having to be distracted. You're not on the same level. Don't try. You're just another whataboutery merchant whose only argument to anything is, let's talk about a different subject because I haven't got an opinion on the subject we're discussing. It is the lowest form of debating. It is a debate of a moron. I hope I've answered your question. And to anybody that replies with whataboutery, you're just skirting around the issue. We can debate any subject you want, but we got to do it one thing at a time. And look, we're all hypocrites. We're football fans. We're built to be hypocrites, right? We're all hypocrites. And I think that's a perfectly God-given right as a football fan to be a damn hypocrite. And I'm a hypocrite. I put my hands up and tell you I'm a hypocrite. But, you know, I didn't make these decisions. You know, I didn't put the Hendo situation to what it is. All I can do is deal with it. Try and have a bit of fun with you guys in the chat. Yeah. All good. All good. Right. What was I talking about? Yeah, sorry, the surprise signing. Do you think we're going to get that? Because Melissa Reddy finished off her post with stealth. Liverpool do love a stealth signing. And then Neil Jones said that he gets the feeling that a signing will come. That'll be something we haven't spoken about. Surprise signing, Milner return. It felt very weird seeing Jimmy Milner in that Brighton training top. A little part of me got a bit sad when I seen that. Come on, Craig, enough moaning about Henderson. Mate, I'm only moaning because people are asking my damn opinion. You can't moan at me for replying to comments. If you're going to ask me questions, I have to answer them. Colin Blackshaw, thank you, mate, for becoming a member of Anfield Agenda FC. Where do you get reliable transfer news? So, it's a really good question. It's a really good question. I think everybody has their own favourites, right? And look, one thing I will say is, this summer, Fabrizio Romano has been on a level of his own for Liverpool stuff for me. And I've been critical of him in the past, but McAllister, he was on the money. So I would say always take a look at him. Always take a look at Paul Joyce. And sometimes it's about just reading between the lines of what isn't said rather than what is said. But it's difficult because Liverpool are quite good at keeping things close. You know, the days Brendan Rodgers was Liverpool manager was way easier to get a lot more information than it is these days. So, sorry, somebody blocked them for me. No, you didn't. Sorry. Where do I remove this lad? Yeah, there. What was Klopp's last season at Liverpool? Or what was Klopp's best season? It's got to be the Premier League winning season because of everything that came along with that season, right? We had COVID, and we were just unbelievable. So I would say that season. But last season, the season before last, we came close to a quadruple. Wow. I mean, look, I've been blessed and you guys have been blessed to say that we've seen football under Jurgen Klopp that has been phenomenal. You know, the energy from the players, the attitude from the players, the vibe that Jurgen has brought to the football club has been amazing. I still get up every day and pinch myself that Jurgen Klopp manages Liverpool Football Club. It's amazing. I want to have you on my podcast. Are you up for it? So I've got a couple of podcasts that I'm going to be doing over the next month or so. And I'm always up for jumping on and saying hello, mate. But if you ever do want to get in touch, email me, contact@anfieldagenda.com, contact@anfieldagenda.com, and I'll get back to you, my man, and we'll try and arrange something. Always happy to be asked on and come and chat football with fellow Liverpool fans. Who's playing on the right wing when Salah goes to AFCON? So at a guess, I think Szoboszlai or Doak. A big difference, right, there between an experienced player and not. But when we signed Szoboszlai, the thought process was that he will play some time on the right wing when Salah's away. And his versatility, as well as, of course, his ability, is one of the reasons why Liverpool wanted to sign him. Who would you pick to replace Klopp? Oh, it's such a tough question, Lloydie. Right now, I love De Zerbi. I can't lie to you, mate. I love the type of football De Zerbi plays, but I have this really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach he'll end up managing Manchester City. Xavi Alonso, I mean, if he continues his progression, even though I think he'll end up at Real Madrid next after Bayer Leverkusen. I mean, Nagelsmann is always one that you think highly of. So yeah, it's a tough one. And I'm happy that we don't have to think about it. Because we have Jurgen for the next, till 2026. But I do like De Zerbi. I really do enjoy his style of football. Actually, that's going to be a good question. I'm going to ask that. As soon as this stream finishes, I'm going to go in and put that into the Ultra members polls. So yeah, there will be a poll on the next Liverpool manager. So look out for that one if you're an Ultra member. And again, I'm going to use these polls with people who are Anfield Agenda Ultra members to shape shows moving forward as well. Because I want to take your opinions and then I want to pitch them to the rest of the audience. So I want to say, like, the Anfield Agenda Ultra members were polled and they think this. And then I want to contrast that with the chat and see what the chat feel. So you're going to play a big part in the role of the channel moving forward as well. What about Enrique? I mean, yes, very good manager. Obviously just started with PSG. Let's see what happens there. But certainly somebody who I hold in a high regard, yeah. Salah 1 more year. Hopefully 2 more years, Nick. I hope Mo smashes every record that there is to smash. And what can you say? The dude looks phenomenal again, in absolutely unbelievable condition. Do you think that Jurgen will extend his contract again? No, I don't. And I say that understanding why. Like, look at all the managers who've come into the Premier League. Mourinho, Klopp, it doesn't matter. Look at them. It takes its toll very quickly. Like, if you look at a manager after 5, 6 years at a club, you can see the pressure on their face. You can see it in them. So when Jurgen said he needs a break from football, I truly believe it. So, no, unfortunately, I don't think we'll see an extension, but God, I wouldn't complain if we did. Right, my friends, I've got to call it a night. It's been a long day, but it's been an amazing day. It's great to be back. Appreciate you all. I'm going to record a video, which will be going out in the next 20 minutes or so, summarising all the news. So appreciate you being here. Tomorrow I'm recording with Darren McAnthony, the Peterborough owner and Liverpool fan. And that will be going out the next day, hopefully. But we will have a stream tomorrow night at 8:30. Same time, same place. I hope it becomes part of your daily routine. I enjoy these heated debates. I enjoy having fun with you guys as well. And I again want to say thank you for welcoming us back to YouTube. Thank you for your amazing support. Do hit the subscribe button before you head off. Drop a like on the video. And I can't wait to catch up with you guys tomorrow. So have a wonderful evening. Lots of love to all your families, whatever part of the world you're in. And thank you for making an old Irishman feel back at home. Love you guys. Talk